Well, here we go. Been talking to my son, and he has shown me a few videos of people camping and doing survival things out in the in Alaska and the UP and in different places. And now that I'm retired, it's something I've always wanted to do, so I thought, let's give it a try. I've spent many years camping and fishing and doing things outside with my dad growing up. And now that I'm retired, looking for things to do, I'm going to give it a run, but I'm not going to do it alone. Come on, here they are. Here are my babies. There's Lexi, and then this one's Landry, a little bit bigger. There's Landry. Yes, you guys are going to be the stars of the show. I'm going to call it Wilderness Driven. Now, all my stuff is in here. Like everybody else, we get all these wonderful ideas. We stick all our stuff in these tubs. Then we want tubs that are matching. So I got to dig through these and find the tools that I need. Sleeping bag, axe, saw, all the things that I need to start this adventure. My son will put all the stuff together, edit all the scenes, and we'll put together a video. He will post it online, and we'll see how this adventure goes. So this is the very beginning of Wilderness Driven. The stars of the show. There's Lexi, and there's Landry. They are my little sweethearts. So wherever I go, they go. So let's start digging through the tubs and see if we can find all the stuff that I need to take on this adventure. Hopefully I got that thing positioned right. I'm going to go through these tubs. Find stuff that I need. You know, the other thing is getting used to talking to a phone. I'm used to talking to middle school kids, high school kids, had all kinds of fun. That's what I did for 30 years. As school administrator, teacher, owned a business. So now, doing something as simple as talking into a phone, it's actually kind of, well, something I got to get used to. Do not tell my wife I was standing on the top step of a ladder like that, which you are not supposed to do. So let's just keep that from her. Now bear with me. I obviously do not have the technology tools. We just moved into this house, so we have all this stuff that I just had to find a place for. So things where let's just put it away and then we'll come back to it when we have time and figure out where it all goes. So we're gonna go through these bins. Look what I found. An axe. So, very simple one. Probably I'll have to upgrade that over time, but it'll do for now. It'll get me started. So there's one item. Landry, come here, baby. Come on. Now we're gonna go through all my stuff here. See if I can find some more things that I'm gonna need a little eventually. I put this stuff there so it's easily accessible. But the other thing I was gonna say is I have gained, since retiring, probably 25, 30 pounds. So one of the things that my kids told me that if I do this, I am going to have to lose that weight. So I will be about 271 right now. I'm going to try to get down to about 240, 245. I'm going to start walking, working out. And this is a great opportunity for me to get myself back in shape. Because I like to eat and drink beer. Ah, here we go. Now we're getting into some stuff. All right. We got some socks in here that I may need down the road. So I will just keep these out for now. I think these are my dad's. He lost my dad to in his early 70s to Alzheimer's. And that's a devastating disease. But the impact that it has on the family when you see a loved one decline is tough. You can't believe what you're seeing. But I think about him all the time, and he will be on my mind when I take on this adventure. The other thing I gotta talk about is this hat that I got. I was at an educational conference in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and that's a heavy one there. And I saw this hat, and I had to have it. All right, this one's all books. And there's remember this guy? Mr. John Wayne, Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyways. Boy, doesn't that kind of fit. I'm gonna keep that one out. Maybe we'll leave that as is kind of the underpinning of what we're doing here. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? Yeah, where's your sister, huh? Landry. Landry's one you got to keep an eye on. She is. Landry, come on, baby. You know, it's kind of like Christmas. You know, you got stuff, you don't even know you got it. Get over here. Okay, I got some boots here. I'm gonna need these. So let's get these out. Here's some rain pants. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I don't know where those came from. See what I mean? It's like Christmas. I don't even know whose these are. I can't tell what size they are. I don't know if my foot would fit in that or not. Why doesn't it have a size on it? Oh, size 13. All right. Yeah, I might be able to use that. Nope. Here's the other one. I don't know if you can see this. That there, round ball, pick and roll characters that I had. I built a business that ran sporting events all over the Midwest. My brother and I did it. And we were able to raise rough estimates, a little over $2.5 million for local and regional charities. Then I became a dad and sold the company so I could become a what I call Little League dad and a Little League soccer coach with baseball and, you know, spend time with my kids. Now that's all over with, that's why I'm getting into wilderness driven. Now I'm gonna get in trouble because I don't know where the dogs are. They will get into trouble. So let me go. Hey girls, come. Let me go find them. Okay, got the dogs and they are back inside. So let me set up my very sophisticated filming system. You know, I got these helmets, and I had snowmobiles. And believe it or not, I had a snowmobile for each of my kids and my wife. So I thought, okay, this would be great. We're going to go out and have a good time. And look at that. There we go. I was looking for those. Okay. These will definitely come in handy, one of them at least. All right, there we go. So anyways, I got these snowmobiles and thought we would all go out and have fun. So we go out. The very first trip, my daughter is ahead of me. She's driving hers, and a deer jumps right over the hood of her snowmobile. she stopped, and she was probably 13, 14 maybe. She stopped and looked back at me, wondering, is that normal? And that was about it. They didn't really take to the snowmobiling thing, so I ended up selling the snowmobiles, and now I still have the helmets. So but that was quite an interesting story. Oh, look what I found here. I am a big coffee drinker, so we will definitely be having coffee with probably all of my adventures. So let's just keep that out. That's a bug lamp. Tools. See, this is like Christmas. You're opening, it's not wrapped, but they're in tubs, and you open it up and you're like, I didn't even know you had this stuff. Okay, wow. Okay, I got all these. My dad had all these wrenches. He always talked about the importance of having good tools. And you're going to find that out on this trip, that if I don't have good stuff, I'm going to pay the price. Here's a little flashlight, might need that. Oh, it still works. See if I can find some more stuff that I could use. Well, here's some pans. Cake pans. Another thing I did is I ran that business with my brother. We put on, like I said, sporting events all over the country, or actually throughout the Midwest. We were at major venues, like, I don't know if you remember the old Pontiac Silverdome. We ran an event in there. That cost us $50,000 just to rent the thing for the weekend. So that was quite an experience. So we did that and put on events all over, and really learned a lot from that. My brother is very smart, very talented. He's got an MBA from Maryland, and keepsake. And he's pretty sharp. My wife is an accountant, and she was a CFO at a big nursing home. And very smart, very talented woman. Like I said, she's the boss. All right, nothing there. I don't know what's in here. So anyways, we ran this business. Sporting events, it was 3-on-3 basketball, 3-on-3 soccer, 3-on-3 hockey. And a large portion of what we made went to charities. So then I quit that and sold that and got back into education. So that's a short overview. And like I said, I was a principal for a long time. And I'll tell you what, that was so much fun. Because working with kids was a great job to have. I had a staff that was, they were incredible. My secretaries were smart, funny, and we had all kinds of fun. My staff was so much fun to work with because they were so smart, so good with kids. Oh, my wife was looking for these stadium blankets. Oh, I got all these stadium blankets. There's a knee pad she needed. She was weeding the other day and she wanted to know where our knee pads went. I did not have an answer for her. So anyways, my staff was awesome. The kids were awesome. The parents in the community I worked with, they were awesome. I was lucky. So then I finally retired. And then, you know, when you retire, you try to figure out what to do. You know, it's great, but you know, you're, oh, what's the heck? So you're spending a lot of time trying to figure out what to do, and one of the things that I ended up doing is I had a parent that had a side job, and he would haul RVs all over the country. So I told my wife that, okay, there's an adventure that I'd like to try. So I tried it and loved it. So for the last 10 years or so, I've been taking trailers, RVs, fifth wheels, from the people that make them to the people that sell them. I just hook up to it, take it to the dealer, come back, and get paid and grab another one if I want. I can go where I want, when I want, as much as I want. You know, I can take my time. It's a great job. It's a self-employment type thing. So I've been doing that for about 10 years. And that's been fun. You know, I take them and that kind of has gotten me ready for doing this, because doing that, I'm sleeping in my truck. So you're battling the elements to a degree. So I really got to know what it's like for truck drivers. They are sleeping in their truck, which they keep running most of the time at night, especially when the weather's either too hot or too cold. So, they live a pretty rough, pretty tough life. And I've learned to have a lot of respect for them, because without them, the men and women that do that, we wouldn't have all the things that we do. Because they're the ones that, they're the supply chain. So, but anyways, doing that, I, take a trip and stay in my truck at night. I would pack a little lunch, or a lot of times I'd go out to eat. So, but there were times. One time I woke up in Massachusetts and it was 6 below. I had to go into Walmart to walk around for a while just to warm myself up. So there you're battling elements, but once again, I was in my truck, so it wasn't nearly as challenging as this is going to be, where I literally will be out in the open, either with a tent or with a, shelter that I made. All right, I got everything out of the bins. This is what I've got here so far. I've got a set of waders, a set of little mud boots. I got some rain pants here. I gotta get the rain jacket out of my truck. And I've got the tent. And then I've got, instead of a blow-up mattress, I have this foam mattress here that can be used for camping. That's actually pretty old, but it's still holding up. The kids and the grandkids have used this a number of times to sleep on, so I'm going to start out with that. And I've got some technology stuff that I'm starting to build. I've got a little tripod stick. I've got the foam that I'm using here, and I've got a GoPro that's on its way. It's not here yet, but I'm going to go this weekend. I'm going to get started. I'm going to go up to up north to south of Manistee on Lake Michigan. There's a great public camping area, and I'm going to get started there and kind of work through all my systems. I've got in the tent, I've got a little stand here that I'm going to use to put my cell phone and everything up where I can see it so it doesn't get lost. I've got all my cooking supplies here: salt and pepper, pan, cutting board, bowls, can opener, tongs. I've got my Dutch oven here. I've got my knife, my fish filleting knife. I got my a burner here with propane tanks. Got a lighter, got a flint or a mag strike. I've got my fire starter stuff. You light it and it helps you start your fire. I got my flashlights. I got a fly trap there that I might hang if I go longer. I got these scissors that you always need scissors. It's kind of a catch-all right there. I got my table here. I'm gonna bring a chair with me. So probably gonna start out with this chair here. I've got something to sit on. I've got this that'll be this grate that's going to go over. It's my Bass Pro coffee cup. That'll sit over the fire. That my coffee will go on. I got my John Wayne thing here that we're going to use. We're going to run with this. Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyways. I love that. That's our thing. That's our motto. Don't be afraid. Don't cut yourself short. Go for it. Don't be afraid. So I think, yeah, And here's my bins. I'm gonna put everything in a bin. I got a sleep bag here. Got a rain jacket in here. I got the frog toys. This was a little bit snug. So I'm about 10 pounds from this being, maybe 15 pounds from this being comfortable. So right now, I got some work to do. I got plates in here, got some Tupperware to store some stuff in here. Got my hatchet that I'm going to start out with, my saws, thermos. I think that's it. I think that's enough for me to get started. And I'm not going to take the dogs this time because I don't want to take them when I really don't have my ducks in a row. Once I've got my systems down and I know what I'm doing, the tent works and everything that I'm bringing works, then the dogs are going to come with me everywhere I go. I just don't want to, you know, put those poor things in a position where, you know, it ends up being no fun for them. So there we go. I think we're ready to go. We're going to take off tomorrow morning.